This is about the Michael Allmain case. And around approximately March 22nd, 2021, he posted this video of his dog on NextDoor for the Port Townsend community. And here's some of the comments. I think a lot of people are feeling that these days because he's said Michael says, I'm just about to give up. I've lost hope in the community and humanity. If something were to happen to me, make sure my daughter knows the truth and nothing less. That's my only wish. I promise you, Michael Allmain, your daughters will know the truth. Okay, different recommendations. I just want to show you this side. So this guy wants to help and post stuff. He linked the Michael and Moses.blogspot.com. It opens a discussion. From what I've read, the dog was stolen. I recently saw on ND that there is a GoFundMe set up to help this dog get an attorney so he can be reunited with his family. Seemed like wealthy people taking from a guy who was experiencing homelessness, dog named Moses. Might help find other postings on this. And then this guy, Tom Christopher, says it's a lot more complicated than that. And then he sent this story, which is my blog on the Michael Allmain story. This person says that is one perspective and not the story. I commented to that. I don't know if my comment's been removed, and said my blog is not one perspective. Yes, it's my blog, but I've linked a lot of perspectives and evidence. This guy's like, yes, of course. But it's actually not one perspective. It's not really my viewpoint. It's my videos are my bearing witness, but, you know, do your own homework. Anyone else is open to share their personal experiences here, and most of us know that in order for both sides to be heard in court, lots of cash is required. Right, both sides, but they're basically convicting him in public through cyberstalking from the Center Valley Animal Rescue page of dragging his dog. And so that those prejudices and lies and hearsay have prejudiced him in this new case. And the community believed those people because they were wealthy, prominent, nonprofits, government agencies, and they weren't telling that they didn't know. They just assumed. Paul, my point is that there is much more to this story than money or that seemingly endless litany of grievances at the link shared above. Okay, so my blog is not an endless litany of grievances. It's standing up for a homeless man where they took his dog and showing you evidence of what's really going on. It's not my litany of grievances. It's a timeline of what happened. If you think that's okay, great. It's your community. Then it can happen to every one of you. But it's not an endless, seemingly endless litany of grievances. I agree. I would be glad to read about it. Read all the evidence. Understand the whole story. No, we're not open to share our personal experiences here. That's what I was told last night. I have lost hope in this community and all of humanity. Who told you that? You can PM me if you'd like. Okay, and then I put, it's actually not one perspective. It's a link to a lot of perspectives and documented facts. Justice is very expensive and nearly out of reach for the working poor. Not just justice, but basic enforcement of the laws that we are all entitled to be protected by. Right? This is me speaking, not reading this, Reverend Crystal Cox here. The goal is to have the law apply equally to people that live in houses and don't live in houses. And for all communities to understand that the pet of a homeless person is different than a person in a house because their emotional and their mental, their whole entire life is anchored in the dog. It is documented in lots of medical health articles, mental health articles, that the homeless are different with their animals because they're with them all the time, and they anchor sometimes their personality, their life, their will to live, their emotional state. And it's not just like anyone with a dog. They should have helped them both together. It's vicious when a community will spend, what, like $50,000 to attack a man instead of a few thousand to help him. Yolanda Gana seems to be in support of Michael and saying some cool things. Yes, this is true. The Quilstein Animal Shelter went into my friend's yard and stole his dog off a lead and now keep using how much the price is to have him returned. He is in court for the matter, but they seem to find any way they can not to return his friend. He's so distraught and worried about this matter. I see people tying their dogs up downtown and leaving them unattended all the time. Yes, they're very prejudiced. They prejudice this man. You can't leave your animal in your own yard tied out without it being sold by an animal shelter. What is this town coming to? Okay, so I'm not claiming that the animal shelter stole the dog. This is this woman's opinion. However, I am claiming they had premeditated intentions to steal the dog, used the same attorney, and someone unclipped the dog, and they knew the very next day by noon. Not only that, Moses, the report from the Center Valley Animal Rescue, the dog was there the next day. Why? And it's been there for 4 months. And if that's how the law works, that's great. I just want it applied equally to every single dog owner in Port Townsend, every transient, every homeless person, everyone passing through, every tourist. I want the law applied equally. Okay? Obviously, make up your own mind. It's, I'm just a stranger that witnessed an injustice, and a weird cliche to say, but I have no dog in this fight. I want to give Michael Allmain a voice. He's a good man, and he deserves to be heard. And also, I witnessed something no one else did, and I'm not going to be silent about what I witnessed. As far as all these other parts and pieces, you decide. I will be filing bar complaints. I will be filing criminal complaints as a private citizen. Done it hundreds of times, fighting corruption over the last couple decades. You folks get to decide what you believe based on all of the information at the link, michaelandmoses.blogspot.com, and yes, my videos and my perspective, but also documents of evidence. You decide. Is it okay what they did? And if it's okay what they did, then it's okay for every dog owner in town, every dog that ever enters into Port Townsend at all. Not just city, because this is blown up into the county. Okay, so then Michael tells what kind of dog he is, and Moses loves his owner. Yeah, very, very close. So this person here says, what was the original reason given? And so I posted the articles on that. The dog was found injured after it fell out of a truck. That's not that. He wasn't convicted of that. And that was all hearsay. I don't know any of the people involved personally. I just recall there were strong emotions on several sides. Right. Exactly. Emotions. So this man should lose his dog for 4 months, $15,000, and no end in sight, and up for criminal charges based on their emotions. Exactly. The dog had been dragged behind a truck, so the news said it. They defamed him. I say they criminally defamed him. Obviously, it's still affecting him. The news claimed the dog had been dragged behind a truck and had lost a lot of skin. He had an accident. Photos showed the injury, right, which violated the rights, just like the July 2019 Leader article said they can't expose that information, but they did. They violated this man's rights. And if you think that's okay, that's great, as long as it applies to every single dog that ever enters Port Townsend. But no one saw it happen. So how the dog was injured seems to be someone's guess. True. If the dog was riding in the back of a pickup, that's really irresponsible because they said an acceleration. Right. See, nobody knows. And they speculated, but it has nothing to do with this current case. And then I posted the incident report. In which they refused to tell him the location or health or any information on his dog. Okay? And then whatever happened with the thing on the truck, he fixed it. It was an accident. Yes, this is kind of a testimony how devoted he is. He is only happy with his owner, Michael, who loves him very much. Michael's had him his whole life. Okay, so he had an issue with the truck. Okay, very devoted owner. Take him for walks in the woods for hours, treating his different health stuff because he had, like, yeah, yeast problems, which many dogs have. So what my goal is now is simply equality. I entered the case to bear witness and testify to what I saw personally, not hearsay. What I'm reporting on my blog is links to all kinds of information. You decide yourself, Port Townsend. It really doesn't affect my life either way. I am a local homeless person. I have been in Port Townsend for many, many years. I'm also a spiritual advisor and healer, and I have a nonprofit church. I care about the homeless. I care about this man. I care about people's mental states, and I do the best I can to help Mother Earth to raise her consciousness and the consciousness of people and animals. And it's not really going to affect my life either way. However, I am giving this man a voice because I have the ability to do that, to report online. I've had a big free speech case, and I know what I'm doing on all this, and I wasn't going to report on it. I just did a video sharing what I had experienced, and I sent in a sworn affidavit of to testify to what I witnessed with Michael. And then everybody started attacking the messenger, so I decided to pull out my old investigative blogging skills and dig into the matter. It doesn't matter to me what you guys decide, but whatever you decide, I'm sure you'll agree that it should be equally placed among people who live in houses, cars, trucks, tents, people who live here, people who pass through. Every dog should have the same rules and not just a prejudice against this one man. So yeah, so there's that post. I just joined this site today. I'd never heard of it, but I got lots of links on my blog, so I decided to check it out. So God has blessed you all. Make up your own mind. Those of you calling my blog One Perspective, it's actually lots of links to lots of different perspectives and evidence. So check it out and decide for yourself. God has blessed you all.